the truck for free. It's a day celebrated all across the nation. Bitches be tripping, what's up with the agent? Day for the news to start of the day. Ripcord in the hot bitch away. It's Friday, bitches. It's Friday, bitches. It's Friday. What? It's Friday. What? Yeah, come on. It's Friday, bitches. It's Friday, bitches. It's Friday. What? It's Friday. What? Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Alright, you guys go chill out for a little bit and I'll be right with you. What's happening, everybody? It's Friday, bitches. A day we can all reflect and all that good stuff. I don't know where I was going with that. Yeah, brought the boat home a couple days ago. Got her fired up yesterday. Some of you guys saw that video. I'm getting excited to get out on the lake, God willing. I will be out on the lake soon and hopefully get some fishing videos up or some boating videos or something. But anyway, I was just thinking about a few things. Thought I'd do a Friday video. You know, one thing I haven't mentioned anything about is the Gibson Bankruptcy thing. Just because I'm glad that Gibson's in bankruptcy. Not because I want to lose Gibson as a company. I think it'd be terrible for an American company like that to go down. But I'm glad they're in bankruptcy because, as we all know, the quality of their guitars in the last, at least 10 years, if not longer, really probably longer, has been just terrible. You know, and I really believe this has to do with, the people at the top, the executive CEOs and vice presidents and people like this, because, you know, when you're in a job in that position, you know, a lot of your job is to watch costs, and unfortunately what happens is, well, like anything else, shit flows downhill. And if you have a bad group of people at the top, it makes for a fucking disaster of people, you know, working in the factories and whatnot. I'm sure there are some excellent luthiers and people working at Gibson Guitars, and I'm sure that there's a lot of them there who, you know, they're well aware of the quality they've been putting out. And they probably don't want to put this kind of quality out. So I'm excited to see Gibson restructure. Not to mention the doors that are going to open due to the bankruptcy. You know, this is going to forgive their debt, and Gibson has had money troubles, or at least claimed money troubles, for a long time. So it's amazing what a bankruptcy can do for a large organization. A few years back, the city of Detroit filed bankruptcy, and man, our city has come farther in the last 5 years than it has in the last 35 years, and a big portion of that was because of the bankruptcy and getting rid of their debt. You know, having their debt paid off, and it allowed money, new money into the city. It allowed new credit opportunities for the city. So, bankruptcy can be a good thing. Obviously the bad part of it is that the taxpayers, you and I, we end up paying for it. So yeah, I'm glad that Gibson's filed bankruptcy. I really hope this turns the company around. I hope that. The things that I've been seeing, in the last several years, really. I just recently got a mailer from Guitar Center, somebody in the mail, and they had a 1959 reissue, and that guitar's 10 grand, and it's like, and then, some of these guitars you see, and you're like, You paid 10 grand for that. You know, why? It just doesn't make sense. So, you know, hopefully, you know, things will get better. That's my hope, and that's why I'm glad Gibson's filing bankruptcy. You know, I really didn't bring that up in the last couple of weeks because I like I said, I just don't care about it. I'm glad about it. So, yeah, hopefully we'll see new things for Gibson on the horizon, and hopefully we'll see some quality instruments coming out. You know, it's, you know, back in the 70s and 80s, Japan was kicking our ass, you know, as far as Les Paul copies. Not all of them, but there were some notable companies out there that were making Les Paul copies that were just kicking the living shit out of anything the United States could bring to the table. And I really, you know, I would like to see the United States kick some ass, you know, in the markets, you know, and instead of just our military going everywhere and kicking everybody's ass, I would really like to see the United States kick some ass, you know, in other ways for a change. So, yeah, that's my feelings on Gibson's bankruptcy. A couple of people asked me about what I thought about it, and that's what I think. I'm not sure why we are having this conversation again. I've noticed Ed Dana has done a few videos about rock and roll being dead and the guitar being dead, and there's a couple more. I don't understand why we're having this. This is old news. This was from like July last year that the Washington Compost released their article saying that the guitar is dead, which is just, it's not true, and rock and roll is dead and all that. It's just, it's really not worth having the conversation after they released that article over a year ago, or close to a year ago, whatever it was. I mean, it's really not worth having the conversation because, I mean, it was immediately debunked. You know, for me, as a musician, I was never into, you know, creating music electronically, cleaning up my music to make it absolutely perfect. There's things that we did in the studio to, you know, make things sound better, such as, you know, on song choruses, you know, where you record one chorus and that's the chorus you use through the entire song. And actually, I didn't really like that either because I thought it, just that little thing of making each chorus sound exactly the same, I thought it made our music sound generic. And you can check it out on some of the recordings, and I'm sure you'll hear the same thing, is it really made our choruses sound generic, you know. And but then, you know, music recording evolved into you know, all of this, you know, fixing everything, making every single note perfect, you know, making voices perfect. And it's just, to me, I'm not into that. I like being able to hear those little hidden things like the drum pedal squeaking on, I think maybe it was Stairway to Heaven, that you could hear the drum pedal squeaking. I like those kind of things. Those imperfections, you know, when you really get down to it and playing music, writing music, you know, the space between the notes is just as important as the notes themselves. And a lot of times more important. You know, I mean, you really need to, you know, let a song breathe. Once you write a song, try it a couple different ways. Let it breathe, you know. So for me, I mean, I like, you know, the way I like to record is to go in with some guys and into the studio and, you know, sit down and record it, you know. Everybody get in a room and let's record it. And that's just not how things are done these days with most music. You know, I talked in the other video about, you know, the Nashville system and how they, you know, Nashville for decades upon decades has always gotten the best singer, the best guitar player, the best bass player, the best drummer, and the best song, and then put that together as one package, which is, you know, it's a way to sell, you know, hits. And it's not necessarily a bad way to sell hits. I mean, who wouldn't want to go into the studio with other great musicians and play? I think it's when we clean it up and we make it generic. is where it loses, you know, it loses all of its life. You know, your songs, your music loses its life through all of those, all those making everything perfect. So, no, the guitar is not. The guitar is not dead. Rock and roll is certainly not dead. Metal, all forms of music. There's no form of music that is dead. And you know, I'm not against any form of music either. You know, I mean, there's rap music that I like. I think, you know, basically, you know, just about every musician is really brilliant at what they do. You know, Trent Reznor, you know, a lot of people bring him up as an example, and he is a good example of using new technology as not to create his music, but as a tool, you know, as a place to be able to plug in and fuck with the sound different ways, you know, a million different ways. So, you know, I mean, as far as all that goes, if I had any advice for, you know, young kids coming up playing music, it would be to, you know, just get back to basics, man. Just get in a room with your buddies and jam, and just let things play themselves out. And if you get an opportunity to record your music, I would record your music the same, you know. I mean, if you're, you know, here's the thing: is if you actually end up somehow getting signed to a label or whatever, where, you know, they're actually going to give you a budget to record, you know, that's going to be a time where you're going to be able to spend time on your record. And although not like it used to be. I mean, you know, you used to have $1 million budgets for bands. You know, a band like Metallica or whoever would go into the studio and they may have a $2 million budget. They would basically move into a studio for whatever, a month, 6 months. There's bands out there that have moved into the studio for a year and wrote their record. And that's where, you know, the brilliance comes out of, is spending that time and, you know, allowing these musicians, you know. That's one thing I will say about Steve Ivey, is that he recognizes, although I think Steve Ivey has, you know, done a lot of destruction in the music business, as I talked in a video before, he does recognize that, you know, when you do have an artist that is good at what they do, just leave them the fuck alone. Give them what they need to do their work, and then leave them the fuck alone. Let them do their work. They'll give you the album when it's time for you to, you know, go make your money. So I think that's really important, you know, to let artists be themselves. And I think it's really important to bring back studio budgets and allow a band to go into the studio and, you know, and write their record, which is, you know, unlikely to happen right now. But, you know, down the road there might be somebody that is interested in that, and maybe those times will come back. You know, we can only hope so. You know, the reason music is so generic now is because, you know, basically everything you're hearing on the radio, you know, for the most part has been done on people's laptops, you know, and you know, you don't have a band moving into a studio and writing a record, you know. So anyway, just some more thoughts on that kind of stuff. What do we got for news? Let's see, what do we got for news? I guarantee they're bashing on Trump, which I went and did it again. I fucking put on Bill Maher again. God damn it. Why do I do this to myself? I used to say because I want to know what the other side is thinking. Or at least maybe the crazies should be monitored, you know. Bill Maher was on again, and they mentioned something about Hillary Clinton and the 30,000 emails. And you know what he said? It's 2018. She lost. Forget about the fucking emails. Well, you know, yeah, she did. It is 2018. So why is it every single day I've got to fucking read about why Robert Mueller probably won't and perhaps shouldn't indict Trump? Mueller outlines scope of Russia probe. It's been 1 year since Mueller began investigation. You know, it's past time to wrap it up. Giuliani says Mueller has now agreed to narrow scope of potential Trump interview. I mean, this has been going on since President Trump has been elected. And this is where the Democrat Party and the liberals don't understand that they are their own worst fucking enemy. You know, when the Republicans lost, and as you guys know, I'm not a fan of either party. I mean, it's all one party. But anyway, you know, when the Republicans lost to Obama, the Republicans regrouped and they planned out what they were going to do next. Now, they didn't know they were going to get Trump. But the point is that you didn't hear constant, non-stop berating in the press about Obama. Yeah, Obama had his haters and whatnot, okay? But it wasn't every single fucking day, you know? It's just non-stop. If you turn on these news networks like, you know, MSNBC, Fox, whoever, you know, it's just non-stop. Oh my God, Trump did this, Trump said that, Trump did this. We think he might have done this. He might have banged this woman. You know, he paid off this woman to not tell anybody that they had sex. Dude, who gives a fuck? Nobody gives a shit about any of this, you know. We need to know, you know, what's going on. I mean, the important topics right now are Iran. And if you know anything about what's going on, you know, with Iran right now and, you know, between Lebanon and Iran and Iraq, it's, man, it's scary, 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 scary shit over there. So, you know, but these are the important topics that, you know, if you know, we shouldn't be going to the media to, as a fucking gossip column every day, you know? You're going to the media and it's like your fucking daily gossip column. We need to know the actual important things that are going on in the world and what our president and our leaders are doing to, you know, keep us as Americans safe and make things better for all of us, you know? So, anyway, it's Friday. Wasn't even going to do a video today. Decided last minute I might as well do a quick one. Like I say, we'll see you guys soon. Hopefully we'll be getting out on the lake. This weather, it's weird, man. It was like 80 degrees yesterday and it was like 58 degrees this morning. It's like 60 out right now. It's just strange fucking weather. But it hasn't been hot, you know. Although everybody says global warming, but it's been cold. It's been cold for a really fucking long time here in Detroit, Michigan. You know, it started in fucking August last year with cold weather, and we have not gotten out of goddamn cold weather since, so I'm looking forward to warm weather. Oh, let's see. What else do I have? If you haven't already, go visit Les Peter Guitar Jam, the former Cyber Reload. Go check him out. And if you haven't already, come over to the Musicians Lounge and visit me. And you're probably going to run into other YouTubers over there and whatnot. That it's a really cool site, man. It's kind of like social media. Well, it is. It's social media for musicians. So I'll put a link in the description. Go on over there, sign up, and check it out. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? Just another fucking account you forget about. But I check in, you know, every couple of days, and now it's like I'm getting more and more. Pretty cool site. Our buddies over there designed, and I'm glad to be a part of it. So that's what I got for you. Happy Friday, bitches, and we'll see you soon. Peace.